So that's where it started, huh?
Yep.
The first contest that we ever did. This is it. This is where we did it. We was in it to win it. Let's go check it out. Wow.
Yep. So here it is. This was our first ever show. Ever on the stage together right here. It was the Delta Star Search, which we won. You know, for us now, we're more comfortable on stage than we are off stage.
If you were to fill this stage at this place up right now, us on this stage, we'd kill it.
Das Efx is going down as one of the greatest rap groups of all time.
Das Efx sound was unprecedented. It was nothing that we never heard before.
Put riggedy in front of it, or jiggity, or tiggity, and nobody was doing that.
They were rapping about cartoons, Bugs Bunny, Woody Woodpecker, just all of these things into rhymes and made it make sense.
I'm savage. I shake them up and down like the Dow Jones average. I'm cocky like Rocky. I biggity bangs the best. So diggity tell your friend chum, cause here comes Das Efx.
They had dreadlocks. They would wear the mask and the Timbs and the big 40 belows.
I biggity bricks the bunker, the rough, deathly puncher. Word to arch bunker. So give me the mic and I biggity light it up like Uncle Fester. Microphone checker, 1, 2, checker. Oh yes sir.
When you're dealing with a dude that throws wordplay back and forth, Das Efx was more multi-complicated at a faster speed.
Well, I'm a freaking like this because I'll be doper than the dopest. I focus on the mic and if you like this, you can quote this. I wrote this, I smoke this, mic until it's heated. This kid, he tried to battle me, but then he got defeated. I'm weeded.
They're like hand in glove. You can't have one without the other.
They loved hip hop. They loved rap. They loved what they did. They just kind of became a victim of circumstance.
Our generals had a problem with each other, and we just got caught in the middle of a storm.
There was fractions now within the clique.
They were forced to rap over joints that weren't Das Efx style.
Then you start sliding down that rabbit hole of, am I selling out?
When he went to Atlanta, that really was a divide between us. Now, actually for a few years, we probably didn't speak to each other.
I didn't call him. I didn't check on him. He didn't call me, check on me. And guess what? I was just fine with it.
Unsung, the story of Das Efx.
Wow, Virginia State, yeah. This brings back a lot of memories right here.
I used to have a chain like this. You know what I'm saying? But it was gold now. There was a lot of action happening over here, bro.
We used to come to a lot of gym jams in here. Ain't this the gym over here now?
Come on in.
Oh!
Ta-da! This is when I was in the circle.
Oh yeah, okay.
We're taking you from the beginning. It was a clique of us. So we would just come into the joint, into the gym jams, and with me and Dre, it would just be us just rhyming.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, we didn't have a name. It wasn't Das Efx.
It wasn't
none of that. It was just, I'm from Jersey, from Brooklyn, and we rhyme. You know what I mean? Yeah, just pull that.
I was born in Brooklyn, New York, Bushwick Projects, and then my family moved over to Crown Heights. I'm a junior, so my pops was Willie Hines Sr., and my mom name was Annie Hines. My pops, he worked at a Coca-Cola plant, so he was a factory worker. My mother, she was mostly at-home babysitter. I'm the youngest of 3. Ever since I was a child, everybody in my family called me Scooby.
School was like real smart, hip. He had all the latest clothes, everything. His finger was on the pulse with the music.
My pop's brother, he was a DJ. He was old school, like he's doing Osley Brothers and the OJs. And so I'm looking at records like that. So when hip hop came along and the whole scratching thing came along, I used to try to teach myself how to scratch with the volume button, right, on the record player, scratching the record. if you could imagine that. So that right there kind of led me into, okay, let me see if I could kind of play with this little rap thing.
In high school, he played me a cassette. Not only was he rhyming, he had like decent production. He had a drum machine, he had an organ, and he was laying down the vocals. And I was really impressed because I was like, yo, how are you making songs in your house without having like a real studio?
Scoob would use a lot of big words in his rhymes. His flow would be real technical, and you know, he was just into it.
I was born in Kingston, Jamaica, St. Andrews, back in 1970. I grew up in Jamaica till about maybe I was 10 years old. My parents decided to come to the States because they were chasing the American dream.
Cars, money. And I said to my son, yo, that's where we're going, man. And he's like, I don't want to go to America. And I'm like, yes, you're going to America. When we first came here, we lived in Union City, New Jersey, and we stayed there for a while until we moved to Teaneck, New Jersey.
My mom came up and she was a housekeeper. My pops was a watchmaker. I have a younger sister. She came along 13 years after me.
He was very friendly. He was always entertaining. He never missed an opportunity where he could be on stage doing his singing.
In high school, I started beatboxing, you know, writing rhymes in my notebook, you know, checking them out, you know, and unbeknownst to me at that time, my father would find my notebook, my pops, and he would go through it.
I used to produce reggae music. And then when I realized my son wanted to rap, and I said, all right, let me see what you got. And I listened, and I'm like, you're not gonna make it. But it progressed.
When I went to college, when I went to Virginia State is when I met Scoob. We were both English majors. He was more serious at the time about music than me. He kind of inspired me to say, you know what, let me see what I could come up with. It was an English, we had either 1 or 2 classes together.
That's what I just said, it was like 1 or 2 probably.
Yeah. I'd be like, yo, this dude is always late. And then I met him, and we started rhyming, and then I was coming in late with him. Like, I was coming in late. My freshman year, I met him shortly after I got there. One night, randomly, we went to a party. You know, it was one of those things where the beat's playing, you in the party, everybody's rocking, everybody's jamming. So Scoob is nearby, he's rhyming.
This one record came on, I start rhyming. So, the same record is on the other side is Dre.
I just started rhyming after Scoob finished, and then Scoob started rhyming again.
It kind of started with Scoob battling Dre. It was really like Dre style versus Scoob style.
So my guys in the middle like, come on, man, you gotta be kidding me. Yo, listen, yo, Scoob, this is Dre. Dre, this is Scoob.
Without us knowing it, Das Efx was born right there, you know?
When they came up with Das Efx, it was Dre and Scoob, but the last 3 letters was Ima Bufo Funde Zika Nyoka. It's Swahili. That's what they ran with when we were on campus.
Dre is very outgoing. Scoob is very laid back, night and day.
As students, they were smart guys. They could do the work, it was easy. But once the music passion kicked in, it was more so about the music than about school.
Let me tell you, I had a 1.9 after my first semester. A 1.9.
I don't know if I'd have put that out.
I'm Jamaican, so I went home and my mother was like...
Unhappy with the 1.9.
I think I brought it up to a 2.7.
In 1989, they teamed up with Scoob's friends from Brooklyn, Chris, Derek, and Dex, who helped them record a demo.
Dex has an entire studio in his bedroom. We was all dabbling in the house, just auditioning samples, and he's scratching, and Dex is working. So finally, Dex loops up Blind Alley, and it's a very popular sample. They went back to school, would clap your hands.
Well, only Fiona's macaroni and cheese. Before I start, I got to fart. No, I got to sneeze now. I got you dripping, yippity doo. Day shucks, I'm making bucks and one hip hip hooray and then some, cause I'm a lousy.
A few months later, Das Efx debuted Clap Your Hands in a contest. They were competing for $100, and with Parrish Smith and Eric Sermon of EPMD as judges.
This is EPMD. They're coming off 2-3 consecutive gold albums. These guys are huge.
Coming from Virginia State, going to Richmond, like they felt like outsiders. When they took the stage, the place exploded. They loved it.
Bon voyage, look out below, cause I got my socks on, the popcorn, the hubba bubba. Yep, gum, you skibbity bum, you think I don't know the time? Well, it's half past the cow's ass and I'm a real badass shit.
They came on and we was like, yo, what is that? You know what I'm saying? So immediately, we knew that it was something special.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Just their camaraderie and their chemistry. They rolled in like real smooth. And then it came to, okay, who won the battle? There was about 3 cats in there that was super nice. So kind of made a compromise. And the compromise was to let the second runner-up win, catch up with Dre's group backstage and ask them like, hey, listen, you didn't win this, but would you like to win a record contract?
He was like, I'll take what's behind door number 2, right? Let's go with the record deal.
And I'm the hickory dickory top of the morning boogaloo picture with the yippity zippity winnie the pooh bad boy blue. Hey, yo.
Eric and Parrish, they knew enough that, yo, this could change hip-hop.
We literally did this room. A year later, we were doing arenas.
Style was so incredibly different than what we were listening to around that time. Like, how do you...
If I were to break down Day One Efx, Drats and double drats, let's smack some wigs, kids, right? So that means Drats and double drats, I'm pissed. You know the cartoon, Drats, I'm pissed.
Right.
Let's spiggity smack some wigs, kids, I'm gonna smack somebody. The boogity woogity Brooklyn boy's about to get his dig, right?
Right.
And now I'm gonna just throw you off real quick. My waist bone, make you smile. How hardy, ha, right? Just want to make you laugh at that real quick. The jibbity jabber jaw, I'm jabbing at your funny bone, you still laughing. Skip the Ovaltine, I'd rather have my honeycomb. Who liked Ovaltine back in the day?
Right.
We just wanted to do it
We
differently.
could come out and say, oh, I'm better than you, I sound better than you, my raps are slicker than you. That's easy, you know, but it's better to say, you know, I'm sickety slick like, you know, a can of oil. And you know what I'm saying? It's easier, it's better, it feels better than to use some stuff.
Something different.
Yeah, like,
None of the artists that we listened to that we liked.
Right, we're doing that.
We're doing the average things.
A month after the success of their debut single, Das Efx released their album Dead Serious, that topped the hip-hop charts for 5 weeks. And just like that, in 1992, Das Efx went from college dropouts to superstars.
The album comes out, it's doing what it does. We're becoming successful now, right? We got a little change in our pockets.
Literally a year ago, didn't have no money, and the next year, I'm literally $100 bill burning it like, yo, love, we got money.
They bought cars, rims for their cars, and they had the crib in Long Island, you know what I mean? And they bought all the weed they wanted.
When that record dropped in New York, it was a zoo. I was at the album release party, and I remember at the end of the night having to carry Dre's out of the party from being so drunk and just having so much fun.
The Hit Squad tour, I had a whole real sewer bill. So when you came to the Hit Squad tour and you looked at that stage, you seen a real sewer with smoke, green lights, and water trekking through there. And then Das Efx opened the gate where you come out, and then boom.
Fans are screaming. I mean, we're doing stadiums, we're doing big arenas. Scuba's damn near a sex symbol.
When we were on tour, it was like everybody had their own synergy. Reggie was more known for the outlandish, you know, I was more or less more criminal jail, you know, and EPMD was slow funk, and here comes DOS Efx with this poppity, sporadic. It was definitely original, man.
We never practiced. So basically our practice was once we first time hitting that stage.
And DOS Efx stuck with that energy for their next single, Mic Checker, that was produced by their core production team, friends Derek and Chris, who were producers on their college demos and were now officially known as Solid Scheme.
Riggedy row, give me the gadzooks, here I go, so riggedy flame on, Geronimo, yo, I riggedy burn, riggedy rubber when I blabber, great, I riggedy make the Wonder Twins, the actor,
When Microphone Checker dropped, that was the hardest ever.
I riggedy make enough noise like Bam Bam, throw boulders from bedrock, till dead drop, I slam man, so check.
That actually put Chris and D, Solid Scheme, to become their own entity aside from DOS Efx.
I'm ripping flesh, plus I get spread like this, shish.
It was just a loop and some drums. Chris put a bass line on it and turned the volume up, and he was like, microphone check, microphone checker, microphone check. I'm like, wait, yeah, that's the hook, bro.
This one was another banger. It was like, yo, this was like, to some people, they like Mic Checker better than they want Efx.
Higgity hoy there, matey, on my giggity got stuff low. My Saturday nights are live than Joe Piscopo, so yo. Siggity take the bait for Charlie Tuna. See, I be the boogie banger like a sire since the boomer.
That video was done in Central Park, 24-hour shoot, okay, with alligators and everything. Like, we was really in the Central Park sewer.
In the summer of 1992, Mic Checker gave DOS Efx their second #1, followed by another top 5 single, Straight Out the Sewer, months later, helping to secure platinum sales for their debut album.
They were following the same pattern as us, only for their generation and underground, and they took it a little further.
To be able to travel the world with some brothers that you love and intertwine doing the same thing, and thankful for hip hop to be able to allow that, blessed thing.
But off the stage, friction was brewing between EPMD, leading Eric Sermon and Parrish Smith to break up in 1992.
We're just gonna cut to the chase. You know, Eric and Parrish had their little issues with each other. Whatever issues were going on, it was way prior to us. And we just got caught in the middle of a storm.
We're like, what? No more EPMD. It was almost like an April Fool's joke we were hoping it was gonna be.
And now nobody knows where nobody's going, and what's the plans, or what's gonna happen to everybody. So it did kind of tear people up.
Lines had kind of been drawn. I noticed, okay, yeah, it seemed like Eric and Red are really cool like that. And Solo and Parrish, they seem more cool like that, okay? And then I'm like, so where do we land in all this?
We just kind of became a victim of circumstance, and that circumstance being whatever that paperwork was between Eric and Parrish.
The deal was, I'll give you Red Man, like that, and then we'll go half with DOS Efx, because I already got K-Solo.
He had 60%, I had 40% of DOS Efx. When the EPMD broke up, I sold my 40% back to Parrish.
When the Hit Squad split up, all that momentum that was gained, it was now lost.
Crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, back, I, you can't touch, I, 'cause I.
In 1993, the crew that helped launch DOS Efx to stardom was now split into 2 rival groups.
The Hit Squad separated. P kept the Hit Squad title, and then Eric started the Def Squad.
Well, everybody was heartbroken, you know, when EPMD broke up. But once Eric resurfaced and formed the Def Squad, the entourages were getting in each other's ears on some choosing sides. Yo, you know, we not rocking with them, they not rocking with me. You know, that type of
Red Man, before he dropped, he DJ'd for us for a minute. We used to all just hang out and just bug out. Now, the DOS, Red Man, relationship is just like, it's just over on two separate sides.
Hit Squad, they waiting for a beef or battle or something like that, but nothing ever popped off or anything like that.
Despite the Hit Squad separation, Das Efx remained at the top of their game. By 1993, their debut had gone platinum, and to add to that, popular West Coast rapper Ice Cube enlisted the duo's Iggity flow on his single called Check Yourself, that also went platinum later that year.
I was in disbelief, like, Ice Cube? Like, really? We got East and West together? That was pretty dope. We began to evolve. We could sit back and let the people who respect us in hip hop, who wanted to work with us, rock with us.
And with the success, East West ordered a rush on their next album. And by now, Das Efx was ready to switch up the flow.
The second album, we were tired of the Iggity. We were like, man, I'm Iggity now. I've been doing that style for 3 years now.
And besides that, it was a lot of copycats.
And then they were copying
what I
us.
mean?
So that made it easy for us to really drop it.
I can have that, we good.
We good on that,
I had to tell them, I'm like, yo, like, it doesn't matter who bit your style. Everybody know who started it. Go back to doing your original style. And Jay-Z was just like, nah. Talk to school, same thing. And I'm a DJ, you know what I mean? I'm playing records in the club. I'm like, you gotta do that shit, and they didn't want to do it.
If you listen to the second album, there is not one reference of the Iggity on the second album at all.
For the album's first release, Das Efx debuted their new style on another Solid Scheme production called Freak It.
My nigga books is next. The crew is from the sewer and the crew is Das Efx. I rex, cause when I flex, I got to rip it. Excuse me, it's the real, it makes me woozy when I sip it.
A lot of people's taking jabs at Das. Yo, they gimmicky rappers. They wanted to prove to the world that they can rhyme without the Iggity.
That Iggity is a cadence, right? But it's not the crutch of their style. They're still MCs, they can rhyme.
Like that with more maneuvers than the Heimlich. When I rhyme with the craze, vertebrae in your spine get chills. Ripping up the skills, I'm like awesome. And if the mic was raised, well then my style run the...
They were really competing with like Wu-Tang, with Onyx, with the lyricist that was coming out then.
I'm dope when I'm bringing more hits than the Oakland A's. I'm freaking like that and then I'm sways.
There's a certain energy to it that, when we rock it, the crowd starts jumping. That's definitely a banger and an awesome.
Freak It became a top 10 hit.
Yo, we're rebelling. We're not using the Iggity anymore.
My idea on the third album was to kind of change it up just a little bit. I wanted to bring in some of my favorite producers and some of Dre's favorites. So we ended up working with Primo. We ended up working with Easy Mo B. There's just a bunch of talented dudes, man.
Real Hip Hop gave them another top 10 hit.
Yeah, the remix was a banger too. And at that time, Pete Rock was the remix king.
You calling on Pete Rock to do a remix, I'm gonna put my foot in it, you know what I'm saying? And so that was the fun part of hip hop.
That was some real hip hop, like some good street noise.
But the label was looking for more.
They were forced to rap over joints that weren't Das Efx style.
Then you start sliding down that rabbit hole of, am I selling out?
There was a lot of tension. Where we were going was just nowhere fast.
March 9, 2001, got a phone call that Chris had passed away, and I was shocked. What happened was Chris had died of a massive heart attack randomly at 31 years old. Yeah, it was one of the worst days ever of my life.
We lost our guy, man. We gotta put our guy in the ground, So that was a devastating time for us.
They came up in it together like that with us. So for us, we lost one of our members, an important piece. Losing Chris was a big blow to the group, without a question.
In 1995, the Hold It Down album reached number 4 on the charts and featured a roster of rap standouts that stamped Das Efx within the hip-hop community. And as they headed into their next album, by now East West had merged with Elektra Records, who was looking to expand their reach and re-spark their debut platinum success.
At this point, the label, they want to capture the whole They Want Efx feel. I can't tell you we weren't happy about it.
We need the Iggity. We need the Iggity. Everybody loved the Iggity. Label, everybody made money off the Iggity.
You go anywhere in Europe and ask them what their favorite album is, Hold It Down. Period. Even more than Dead Serious. So we were trying to continue with that vibe. I think they were expecting something a little more commercial than that, and we just weren't on that page.
Scuba's pushback king, you know what I'm saying? He started, sneak dissing the label heads and the rhymes that we're doing. I'm like, Scoob, you sure you want to say that?
There was a lot of tension. So my only way to, get your attention, maybe, possibly, is to put it in a rhyme and take it how you want to take it, because I was angry. Whoever felt like they got touched by that, then that's where I directed it to.
Then you start sliding down that rabbit hole of, am I selling out? And then you lose some of who you are as an artist.
Dre, myself, Parrish, we should have been all together as one, and then went to the label with that. Not us feeling one way, Parrish feeling one way, the label feeling one way, and it's just all over the place now.
Ultimately, that disconnect led Elektra Records to drop Das Efx in 1998.
After the Generation Efx record, that was the last record that we did with them. I was kind of relieved, honestly, because where we were going was just nowhere fast.
We severed ways on management with Parrish and the whole Hit Squad thing. Around the same time, we lost our deal.
Queen Latifah threw us some money, man. They had a deal through Warner Brothers, I think in '99. We were supposed to put out an album under that imprint, and whatever happened, within a year, they lost the imprint. So from there, we never put out an album from them.
So we're like, yo, man, we don't need no record label. Oh, man, I'm going independent. But when you're independent, you independent. So we got smacked in the face with that, too. So you mean it takes me, it's gonna run me about $400,000 to do the album on my own?
It was a reality check, certain ways, a lot of weight that they had to shoulder.
And Das Efx would soon succumb to the heavy load. After releasing their 5th album in 2003, Scoob and Dre decided it was time to take a break from the music and each other.
Yo, man, when you come up with somebody and you are sharing a bunk bed for 6 months, you've been on tour together, you've been around the world together, at some point, you just need a break from that person. You know what I'm saying? I moved to Atlanta in 2004. I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna cut my dreads. I'm gonna just go try and be anonymous and find another situation.
So when he went to Atlanta, that really was a divide between us. Actually, for a few years, we probably didn't speak to each other. Just for no specific reason, but, we just weren't in contact.
I didn't call him. I didn't check on him. He didn't call me, check on me. And guess what? I was just fine with it.
Throughout the 90s and early 2000s, Das Efx's animated style and flow brought a fresh sound to hip-hop, resulting in platinum success and multiple top 10 hits. But by 2006, aside from a Hit Squad reunion show, the members of Das Efx were living separate lives.
I just think people grow up. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing. You fight with your brother, but do you hate your brother? No.
I had started doing songs with different producers. I did music like with my guy Marco Polo. Dream, I think at that point he had released some music.
You want to try new things, you find out you don't even know yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're like, yo, man, I just spent the last 20 years in hotel rooms and tour buses. I should probably take a break and chill. You know, it's that simple.
But in 2010, after nearly 5 years apart, DJ Dice made a call that he hoped would bring that break to an end.
I remember him reaching out to me like somebody wanted to book Dice, and I was like, what? You know, me and Dre performing? So Dice was just adamant about us getting back and doing what we do. So obviously, you know, Dre and I spoke, and then we got to kick it after, you know, a couple years.
We've grown. I'm not on the phone with Scoob, like chopping it up like two schoolgirls. We don't do that. But we got back together and just started like, all right, man, let's do these shows. And pretty much haven't looked back since.
Over the last 15 years, Das Efx has been able to maintain a steady touring career, thanks to a cult following overseas.
If you're just stuck in right here in America, they respect, you know, the work that Das put in. But some people just dismiss them like, they fell off. They wouldn't have no idea that we out there rocking arenas and stadiums. We've been like damn near everywhere, like all over Russia, all over Europe, all over South America, Canada, Japan, you name it. And we're still representing real hip hop.
And in 2021, Das Efx brought that energy to the biggest arena in Brooklyn as the surprise act during KRS-One's battle against Big Daddy Kane on Versus.
But it was a great look for Das Efx to be on. Like, Versus is the new biggest thing right now. If I would have known that they were gonna be on there, I'd have told them, y'all don't make a record right now to drop at midnight when Versus is over.
Let the fans tell it they want a new album 10 years ago. You understand? Our last album was 2003. So me and Scoob, we always toying with the idea, yo, we need a new album.
Even if it's just 4 or 5 songs, for them to just lock in one more time and take it back to what it was all about, just get in the studio. That's where it all started.
With over 30 years of friendship in music, today, Scoob and Dre have found their stride, together and separately.
So Das Efx currently still touring. On my end, I'm working on the cigar line and some other music things as far as dealing with artists.
On it's your man Crazy to the Drazy, Diggity Das Efx. Hey yo, today I got a special one. I got a special one for a couple of reasons. I started the Producers Podcast just to sit down with some of these producers who've done mega records that no one knows. And also I want to shine light on producers who are on the come up. I got a new weed line out, so that's gone up.
The legacy of Das Efx is going down as one of the greatest rap groups of all time.
They disrupted the music industry. Nothing you could do about it. That Miggity was something that changed the landscape for that moment. Period.
One of the best duos that ever touched the mic in hip-hop. The first hip-hop group with the Iggity, the first group in the hip-hop with the dreads, groundbreaking, the style. Everything about Das Efx is one of one, man.
For me, the legacy will be of Das Efx, 2 guys that came out of nowhere, met out of nowhere, developed a style. And you know, for a moment in time, we changed the way people saw and made hip hop.